So this is what we're going to do with the ancient gaming system. And with Little Rap Guy and Friends. And with pantheism. Distinctly, non-distinctly, and simultaneously. With and as our native identity of volumes, value/value progression. Where and how its value progression system forces us to have subjects and to qualify subjects in relationship to each subject individually focused upon. Tactically ulterior from how modern systems tactically ulterior from this force. And no one's allowed to speak of that, about that. All the identities of value progression and demonstration of it individually grouped and together. And they aren't allowed to speak about it individually grouped and together. And they are and have been pretending other offensively to all locations, as a breaching method knew it would. And with them self-valuing means to pretend other by blaming other things, others themselves. Where and how a breaching method knew that it could simultaneously exploit that as well. The same way that various natures of syntax and of programming languages and of hardware that are mimicking how they're doing the same thing. In other words, the CPU has temporary slash lasting roles with data distinctly from how the microchips do. Locations and roles with functions and roles with a circuit. See, when you could unplug the computer in the middle of someone using it, what was not saved was only in the possession of temporary positive. In other words, the CPU is temporary slash lasting positive. In other words, when you turn the computer off, it has memory locations with the data and the identity of the data and with its relationship to the identity of value/value progression that is unchanging but only increasing as the not just as that coming through the wall, coming through the Wi-Fi, all the signals, frequencies, the sounds, audio, video, keystrokes. This is more complex than data. See, but where and how subjects were and defenses of subjects qualified apart from all other subjects in that self-value, leaving the significance of other subjects in the identity the sciences share increasingly self-valued, absent from abridged identity of the ground, science, locations, all, in its conjunction to the engineering of our fact-achieving nature that is invisible but still discernible in the way it is still is as a value/value progression. And that is the study of its identity of value progression as its identity of volume. And that is simultaneously the study of its identity of volume's identity of relationship to itself. And that is simultaneously the study of the value of that, positive or negative, to itself. And this is where and how and why identity has a relationship to positive and negative simultaneously. Where and how temporary positive is in the pursuit of more temporary slash lasting positive that is also positive unto itself. That positive, that identity of volume that is about positive and negative, again, that these value nature systems are tactical material from, specifically so we won't be able to make words about value in relationship to the identity of the grounds identity of engineering relationship to our fact-cheap nature, value/value progression system. So as victims, there were little girls and boys of everyone's town. And then, like, when you have colleges and universities, interstates that educate teachers and professors and experts that could be of any of the sciences, no, abridged, derivative forms of themselves, and know where and how the Constitution was supposed to be defended unabridged, and know how we still have interstate sickly distinctly fake sides of correlation nature, pretending to be against and pretending to be for narratives that have worse than entertained, blaming our founders, keeping that in the theater narrative about American history, told with summary convictions in relationship to the question /s asked by each age of fact-cheap nature. Now on to their schools. Already was roles onto all private databases simultaneously with what no one caused, but just self-valuing it. Again, this is mixed with the people that are the only ones behind the scenes judging of, testing of, or whatever, vetting, whatever they call it. Investigations, investigators, and vetting identities. And identities of the law, like FBI. Former director of the FBI, Robert Luskin, in his defendant capacities, his co-defendants, and his lawyer, were all recorded, confessed, demonstrated, confirmed, having been involved with people from my town since I was a kid, and with their family members. So, well, why didn't you say that? This is all what is actually recorded. These are also people roles with private uses of the actions and written, and roles with uses of identity and defenses of themselves, of private police forms, of their family members, of everyone's neighbors. This is recorded, confessed, demonstrated, confirmed, demonstrable. People on all corners of Griswold Street. I don't know about that. That too, of Griswold Street, distinctly, non-distinctly, and simultaneously. They were victims of where everyone speaks through other people, other things, and others, and selves. And where and how it has a relationship to treatments of the post office, because of how the identity of the ground locations all originally instilled were the complete possession of defenses of identities of law as breaching screens, as breaching tools, weapons, worse, for that method that America is about for us to be evolution's fruits and gifts and ways and means. Vaccine.